Hi, I'm John Mallos. Welcome to this live edition of Connect with Me on the showroom floor at Ventura TV on this Monday morning. Glad you are here to begin the week. Good guest here today. First time guest. We'll talk about Habitat for Humanity. 436-ME-TV, option 11. Connect with Me starts right now.
Tonight I want to discuss the importance of the television medium to the American people.
Glad you're here on this Monday morning, and it is early November, and baseball is over, football is going strong, so a quick programming note for tomorrow. We'll have Tommy Tran of ABC Channel 30 in the house tomorrow to give us an update on what the situation is with the Oakland Raiders and Derek Carr. Of course, they won last night, and they beat the Miami Dolphins, the lowly Dolphins. But we'll get an update from Tommy on what Derek has to say. He interviews him every Monday, I believe, and then it airs on Tuesday. So we'll talk about that, talk about Friday Night Football, the high school rivalries coming up, the playoffs coming up, and, of course, what's going on with Fresno State football. On Wednesday, another very interesting guest. It'll be a first-time guest. You know that campaign, that commercial that you see on television all the time now? It's called We Are Sikhs. Talking about the Sikh campaign. We'll have somebody in here from Visalia. We get viewers down there as well, so we'll talk about that on Wednesday. For now, you're watching us live on Comcast, channel 375. It's Monday through Friday, as it has been for the last 5.5 years, my friends, 10 to 11 o'clock, and the number is 436-ME-TV, option 11 if you want to call in. You don't have Comcast cable. It's over-the-air broadcast with an antenna, 43.6, 13.1. Then the replay, again, it comes up at 2 o'clock, 13.6 YouTube, 8 o'clock tonight, 4.6 Biz TV. After that, you can go to venturabroadcasting.com, connect with me, and then you can catch all of our shows on YouTube if you so choose, if you've got the time. And who does, my friends? Time is short these days, right? Seems like there isn't 24 hours in a day anymore. It seems like it's more like 14 hours in a day. That's what it seems like to me anyway. Anyhow, today we're talking about Habitat for Humanity. It's hard to believe that Habitat has been in Fresno County now for 32 years, and they've helped more than 400 families right here in the Central Valley. Let's roll the videotape, show you what I'm talking about, my friends. Here it is, exactly right. Habitat is in the business of helping people build their homes. Potential homeowners are expected to put in about 500 hours of sweat, blood, and tears into their own project. Now keep in mind, here in Fresno County, Habitat does not build homes for families. They help facilitate a partnership among those families who demonstrate a want and a need and the ability to pay a mortgage, and they must be willing to help build their future home, of course. Those Habitat homeowners build their own homes alongside volunteers. Founded back in 1976, nationwide that is, Habitat has now grown into 1,400 communities nationwide, nearly 70 countries around the world, so many volunteers, so many hours building. Habitat has become the largest nonprofit builder in the world, and builder period, headquartered in, well, located in two cities, America's Georgia and Atlanta. Live in our studio right now is Matthew Grundy. He is the CEO and the executive director of Habitat for Humanity here in Fresno County. He's been here, I guess, for about 2 years. This is 2017. And we'll talk about his venture the last 2 years at Habitat. We're waiting for your phone calls as well. 436-ME-TV, option 11, Habitat for Humanity. Back in just a moment.
When you like Ventura TV Appliance on Facebook, it's nice. But when you love the Whirlpool appliances we deliver, it's even better. Our website is cool, and it's a good place to start. But you really should touch the merchandise before you buy. Touch the new Whirlpool Ice Collection. It offers a modern style made to create an inspiring kitchen experience. Save big on this Whirlpool Black Ice or White Ice kitchen. Come in to Ventura TV Appliance and touch the merchandise today.
Not sure what you're watching? Want to see what's coming up next? Or just want to browse what's on without the hassle of flipping channels? Your wish has come true. Now you can view schedules for all the digital TV channels available in the Central Valley. Get local weather updates and forecasts, and listen to nationally syndicated Biz Talk Radio, all on KVHF 4.1. Rescan your TV now, then tune in to Digital Channel 4.1 to start enjoying the all-new TV Guide.
Well, Habitat for Humanity has had a mission statement, that is, since 1976. That's the inception, of course. The first year it went nationwide, and I guess that mission is to build a home. But not build a home for having the homeowners actually pitch in with volunteers to build a home. Matthew Grundy is here. Good to see you. You're the executive director, the CEO for Habitat. And I'm glad you're here this morning. Welcome.
I'm glad to be here. Thank you so much, John, for having me.
I appreciate it. So, man, 32 years here in the Central Valley. You've been on the job for just 2 years.
That's right.
You came on board, what, just after they celebrated the 30th?
Right before we celebrate
Right
our
before.
30th year, yeah.
Okay,
absolutely.
all right. So what's it been like for you the last 2.5 years? Has it been like a roller coaster, up and down a little bit?
It's been a lot of fun. It's been exciting. It's been wonderful, actually, being involved and woven into this great community. Fresno County is absolutely amazing, and I'm just glad to be here. My family and I love Fresno.
Yeah, you're from where originally?
Southern California, so
Okay.
about an hour east of Los Angeles, born and raised. My wife's from Michigan, but we're Fresno's residents through and through now.
You said that Fresno is magnificent. In what way, do you think?
I think it starts with the people. I mean, I think people really make the place, and the people here are so wonderful and kind, generous, and it's just a great place.
Yeah, and they're willing to open their pocketbooks?
Oh, yeah. Well, I think anytime you see a noble cause or something that is worth giving to, people are genuinely pretty open and free-willing and generous by nature.
Yeah, I want to ask you, because we have a lot of time here. We have a whole hour today, so you can talk up a storm.
I'm looking forward to it. My wife says I talk too much, so I get it out here.
No, we have to have you talk a lot today because we got to fill that time. We have to stretch.
Sure.
So you can go as long as you want.
All right.
But so what? Give me some misconceptions about Habitat. People that don't know, they hear about it. Maybe they see Jimmy Carter on television,
Sure.
helping,
Sure.
with a hammer and a nail.
Sure.
And they think, gee, I know of Habitat. I've heard about it. They build homes. Okay, what's the big deal?
Sure.
What are the misconceptions about Habitat? Give me the top 10 list.
Great start. Oh, man. Well, one is, I think, going back to what you mentioned in former President Carter, that former President Carter was not, in fact, the founder of Habitat for Humanity.
A lot of people think he was.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people debate his effectiveness as a president, but will not debate his heart as a human being. And he's a wonderful man and been a great part of Habitat's history, but is not the founder. In fact, Millard and Linda Fuller were the founders of Habitat. And we'll probably talk about the story of the inception of Habitat, I'm sure, soon. But that's one of the biggest misconceptions.
Millard Fuller, Habitat founder.
That's right.
1976 in Georgia?
That's right. A small farming community, similar to this one here in Fresno County, called Americus, Georgia.
Right, and I mentioned that in the monologue. Those are the two headquarters, Americus and Atlanta.
That's right.
So Americus very similar to Fresno. Am I right about that?
Yes. So Habitat was actually founded on a small farm in South Georgia. A guy by the name of Clarence Jordan had this idea that he wanted to bring people together, kind of like an early church, where everyone would bring everything together so no one would lack anything. He called this farm Koinonia Farms in South Georgia. It was an interracial farm back in the 40s. Yeah. And, of course, Millard was living in New York from the area, successful banker, had this vision he'd be a millionaire by the time he was 30. He was, but his marriage was bankrupt. So he thinks, I'm going to go back to this interracial farm for the purpose of a few hours of marital counseling. Stays two weeks, feels compelled to liquidate all of his assets and give it to the farm for the sake of this small community church. Does that and moves his wife there. They stay 2 years, marriage is completely healed, and then he winds up going into the marketplace to raise funds for small colleges across the U.S. 60s kick in. Small interracial farm in South Georgia, you can imagine on the heels of desegregation, goes through a ton of persecution.
My goodness.
Families are being beaten up. Crops are being destroyed. They're boycotting the sale of the goods.
Killed.
People, the whole caboodle. Clarence Jordan calls Millard Fuller and says, "Come back, man, we're losing the farm." He comes back, they lock themselves in prayer for 2 days, and out of that prayer was birthed Habitat for Humanity. This idea that we would be a practical tool in the hands of others to love our neighbors as ourselves. That's how.
So the
that's how
story I read about him, you said it beautifully. I mean, more gracious than I would be able to tell the story. But so the things I read on the internet about Millard Fuller are true.
Absolutely true.
That's absolutely how this whole thing started.
Yes.
But what was his vision?
Yeah.
What was his goal? What did he have in mind?
Yeah, well, it's amazing. You know, his vision is borne out in this statement that's still our vision statement today: a world where everyone has a decent place to call home. And he got that really from the Lord's Prayer, where he said, his kingdom come, his will be done on earth as it is in heaven. You know, there's no shacks in heaven, John. So he said, look, on earth, we want to make sure there's no shacks. We think everyone deserves a good place to call home. And that's been the vision statement ever since.
So the intangible here is what?
The intangible here is really love. Homes are actually our output, but loving people is our desired outcome. And so we're really interested in just loving people well through affordable housing.
So without his love of people, this thing would have never started.
Would have never started. Just love people.
All right. Was he a devout Christian?
He was. He was. In fact, he was a missionary. He wound up starting, before founding the organization internationally in 1976 here in the U.S., he went to Zaire, what's currently the Democratic Republic of Congo, and built his first 2,000 homes as a beta test for the model. And it worked so well, he brought it back here to the U.S. He was a missionary by heart.
Who thought of the idea that, hey, the people that are going to live in these houses are the ones that are going to build them?
Yeah,
not me.
Yeah, that was.
It's going to be them, because they can build it to their liking.
That's right. Well, the original concept was what was called the Fund for Humanity. And the idea was we would, as a community, build together. Good old-fashioned community. It's something different about community when you've built a wall with your neighbor, or when you help your neighbor pick up their trash or mow their lawn. And he just believed in that. And that was something that we stuck with ever since.
Yeah, amazing. All right, Matthew Grundy is here. Got to take a quick break. He's the CEO, Executive Director of Habitat right here in Fresno County. And you can call in at 436-ME-TV, option 11. Back in a moment.
When you're looking for KitchenAid innovation and quality, who has the answers, the selection, the price? Ventura TV Appliance. With billions in nationwide appliance buying power, more than Home Depot and Best Buy combined, we'll help you save. Our low prices on Energy Star qualified KitchenAid appliances save you energy and money, and pay no interest on select models when paid in full within 12 months. Ventura TV Appliance, serving you since 1951.
Want to create something extraordinary? Create perfection. Our lifestyle appliances make it easy. KitchenAid, Ventura TV Appliance, and you, when only the best will do.
I'd never heard of Habitat. I was the director of a youth group that took a trip to Tucson, Habitat. And on the way home, Pastor Jack Pakianagi was talking. I said, do we have one of these in Fresno? He said, no. I said, why not? And he looked straight at me and said, because you haven't started it yet. My name's Jackie Holmes. I was the co-founder of Habitat Fresno. It was very exciting to be part of the 100th affiliate. We received our affiliation in Grace Cathedral in New York City from Jimmy Carter.
All right, that's the founder of Habitat right here in Fresno County, and she's still alive, she's still well, and you talk to her frequently?
Regularly. Jackie Holmes is a staple in this community, loving people.
She is, and what's she doing now?
Yeah, now she's helping with community revitalization, so she's just, you know, like every Habitat member, we just, you know, roll up our sleeves, get involved in the community, and she's just a local advocate for the community.
Hey, we talked about the misconceptions here a couple of minutes ago, and Millard Fuller, a lot of people don't know that name. It's not a household name around the country. People generally don't know the story about how Habitat started. so many years ago, 40 years ago now, and there was it 42 years, something like
That's
that.
right.
In the small state of Georgia, small compared to California. That
Sure,
is.
sure.
So what is the other? What are the other 9 misconceptions?
Yeah.
We talked about one.
Yeah.
Okay, Jimmy Carter was not the founder.
Yeah.
We know that Millard Fuller was, and him and his wife. But what are some of these other things that people think about Habitat and say, oh, that's, I saw that on television. That must be true.
Right. Oh, another big one is that you have to have something to come to Habitat, or you have to be a certain somebody to come to Habitat. Those are not true.
What does that mean? What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
Meaning a lot of folks think you have to either have a certain background, you have to have certain experience to get involved with Habitat. We don't care who you are, where you're from, what you believe in, whether or not you have any experience working on houses. We believe at Habitat there's a seat for everyone.
I have zero experience. I can come and hammer up.
Absolutely. It doesn't matter if you have no. In fact, we'd prefer you have no experience because then we don't have to unteach you some things, right? And so, at Habitat, there's a seat at the table for everyone, irrespective of where you're from, how old you are, what your prior experience are, any beliefs that you might have. There's a seat for everyone at Habitat.
So if I'm retired and doggone it, I want to volunteer my time, I'm going to call up Matthew Grundy and I'm going to say,
right.
Matthew, I want to come hammer some nails, baby.
That's right. Some of our best volunteers are actual retirees.
They are.
Yeah, we have a gentleman right now, Tom Flanagan. Tom's ex-Fresno detective, PD, and he's out there every week volunteering. Great man. Many folks just like that. And so, you can call me up or you can visit us at habitatfresno.org. You click volunteer, you can put your information in. We'll bring you right in. No commitment either. That's another misconception. People think, well, to volunteer, I must have to come every week. No, you can come one time or many times. We'll take you wherever you are.
Right. Do you have to be? All right. How about another misconception? All right. A lot of people are under the misguided notion that okay, somehow this is a Christian organization.
Yeah.
And if you're Jewish, if you're Muslim, if you're an atheist, you're out.
Absolute misconception. Habitat is a Christian organization. But, excuse me.
Bless you.
Our conviction is that we're called to love everyone, irrespective of belief or no belief. So,
sorry, you can grab some water there if you want.
Thank
That's
you.
okay.
I think I need some.
Yeah, it's okay. So Matthew Grundy is here, CEO, Executive Director of Habitat. 436-ME-TV, option 11 if you want to call in, talking about some of the misconceptions. You all right? Shall we go to break?
I think we need to go to break.
All right, let's go to break. We'll take this call here. Hey, it happens. It's happened to me, my friends. Are you kidding me? All right, back in just a moment.
The following is a list of celebrities you will not see on MeTV programs. Charlie Sheen, Lindsay Lohan, Snooki, Paris Hilton, Perez Hilton, Honey Boo Boo, Justin Bieber, Simon Cowell, Chris Brown, Miley Cyrus, and the Real Housewives of any place. This is who you will see on MeTV programs. Lucy, Ralph, Mary, Perry, Gilligan, Kenner, Spock, Batman, Rowdy, Festus, and the Beaver. MeTV. Thanks for watching.
Frigidaire. We introduced the first home freezer, the first pulsator agitator washer, and now we introduce the Frigidaire Orbit Clean dishwasher, designed with a unique wash arm that gives you 4 times more water coverage for a consistently better clean. Frigidaire, over 90 years of legendary innovation.
See the full line of Frigidaire appliances at Ventura TV Electronics and Appliances.
Giddy up with westerns, we've got the best ones. Superhero, sci-fi, spin, grab the popcorn and stay in. Dramas, mystery, and action, take a look and see what happens. Carol, Andy, Lucy, MASH, timeless comedies full of laughs. Hey, that's me!
That's me. That's me, Chief.
Yeah, me, you gotta see. That's memorable, that's me. Me TV.
When you're looking for Whirlpool innovation and quality, who has the answers, the selection, the price? Ventura TV Appliance. With billions in nationwide appliance buying power, more than Home Depot and Best Buy combined, will help you save. Our low prices on Energy Star qualified Whirlpool appliances save you energy and money, and pay no interest on select models when paid in full within 12 months. Ventura TV Appliance, serving you since 1951.
When you like Ventura TV Appliance on Facebook, it's nice. But when you love the Samsung big screen we deliver, it's even better. Our website is cool, and it's a good place to start. But you really should touch the merchandise before you buy. Time for that upgrade to an HD 3D web-enabled Samsung TV. Get the best selection, price, and service in town without waiting. Come in to Ventura TV Appliance and touch the merchandise today.
All right, back here on the program with Matthew Grundy of Habitat, and I do have a caller that is waiting, but I'm gonna ask you. You were talking about it being a Christian group,
Yeah.
but nobody's excluded.
No one's excluded. Our conviction is that everyone deserves a decent place to call home, and there are no requirements, irrespective of any social identifier you might have, race, age, class, gender, religion, or no religion. It doesn't matter. There's a place for you at Habitat.
Okay, all right, let's take this call here. You've been patient. Go ahead. You're on the air. Caller?
Yes. Good morning. My name is Sophie, and I want to know what are the qualifications, or how much does it cost to put down to get started on this?
Sure. Great.
You mean for what? If you wanted a house?
Yes, to join. Yes.
Oh, I see. Yeah. So stay there, caller. Just hang on. Don't hang up. So yeah, how much does it? Is it? Okay, we're talking about misconceptions, and I'll let you answer the woman's question here. But along with that, let's kind of combine that with this question: is it cheaper to buy a home with Habitat than it would be to go out in the open market?
Yes, which speaks to the third and arguably the greatest misconception about Habitat. A lot of people think Habitat gives homes away.
I did at first.
Right?
Yeah.
In fact, the opposite is true. Habitat sells homes, affordable homes, to families. So what makes Habitat different is we provide no or low interest loans to families to help them attain safe, decent, and affordable home ownership. And so homeowners get a chance to get into a home that's affordable with Habitat. So to the caller's question around qualifications to buy a Habitat home, there are three basic criteria.
All right.
Let's go. Number one, you must demonstrate need. Need as measured by living in substandard housing. Substandard is subjective. It can be defined by living in an area that has health or safety violations currently. It could be overcrowding or living in an area that has gang activity all around. So the first criterion to be a Habitat homeowner is to demonstrate need. The second criterion is to have the ability to repay. Again, this is a home loan. We don't believe in giving handouts, but hand-ups. So you must have the ability to. The interest rate varies. So in some cases, you'll find anywhere from a no interest to a low interest loan.
Wow. How do you get a no interest?
Well,
I'd like that.
Right. Well, you guys at Me TV, you guys carry or cover areas all the way from Tulare, Kings County, all the way here in Fresno County, and based on your area, you may see a variance. Here in Habitat Fresno, we now offer low interest loans, so that's below market rate. But what that means is that families have to qualify for that, because we don't want families just to have the ability to get into an affordable home. We want them to stay in the affordable home
to be able to pay.
That's right. And so we have a rigorous financial qualifying factors. But here's the good news. In 32 years, Habitat Fresno, while lending exclusively to those who are extremely low to moderate income makers, have only had one foreclosure.
In 32 years?
In 32 years.
Foreclosure.
To extremely low to moderate income makers. These are folks that banks don't want to touch.
All right. I read somewhere, that's an excellent point that you make there. I read somewhere where you have to take out a first and a second mortgage on these homes. Is that true?
It's not always true. Sometimes it's just a first. Sometimes it's a first and a second.
Okay.
It just depends on what you can qualify for based on what's affordable for you. At the end of the day, our families that we serve have to make 80% or below area median income. That's one of those financial qualifiers.
What's
in terms
that income
of
level here in Fresno?
Well, it varies based on household size. So the federal government, HUD, sets a standard that says based on your household size, you can't make any less than this amount and no more than this amount based on your size.
Yeah, and what's the third criteria?
The third and final criteria is being willing to partner. So the caller asked about down payment. Great question. We don't ask for partner families to put a down payment in terms of money out of their own pocket, but what they put in is what we call sweat equity. Sweat equity means you go and take up a hammer and you work on your own home alongside perfect strangers from the community that say, hey,
So
we just
no
want to
down
love
payment
you.
as long as you build a house.
That's right, no down payment. In exchange for your sweat equity, we have a partnership with Federal Home Loan Bank that will give a family up to $15,000 for their sweat on their own home in the form of a down payment. So those three criteria: need, ability to repay, and willingness to partner. If you meet those three criteria, go to habitatfresno.org and put in your information.
Yeah, go ahead, caller. What's your
Thank
comment
you.
about this?
That's nice. I like it. I like it a lot. It's very nice. Does it matter what area we move into, or do we get to choose our area, or wherever they're?
Well, that's a great question.
That's a wonderful question. Well, Habitat partners intensively with the city of Fresno, city of Clovis.
Thank you, caller.
All of our areas in Fresno County. And what we do is we work to identify land and areas that can work for Habitat's model. So unfortunately, families don't have the luxury of saying, hey, I want to choose that lot or that home, but you will have a home if you're selected based on your size need.
So they don't get to choose the area.
They don't get to choose the area. But going back to the question on cost, I'll tell you, a Habitat homeowner typically for a brand new single story, 3, 4, or 5 bedroom home, decent sized lot, 7,000 to 9,000 square foot lot, with all new appliances due to our partnership with Whirlpool, new solar, family will pay somewhere between $700 to $900 a month on their mortgage, and that's through.
And what's the
Habitat's
total
program.
cost of that home usually?
Yeah, so we will sell the
Average.
home. We sell the home to the family at appraised value. The reason we do that is because we don't want to depreciate the neighborhood. And so, in an area like Fresno or Clovis, you may find a home cost somewhere between $180,000 to $230,000. But on that 1,500 to 1,300 to 1,600 square foot home, they'll be paying somewhere between $700 to $900 a month for a brand new home.
Nothing in this day and age.
You can't get a bad apartment for that.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's unbelievable. 436 MeTV option 11 if you want to call in and be a part of the program. Matthew Grundy is here. He is the president. He's the CEO. He's the executive director of Habitat here in Fresno County. Back in just a moment. We've got an open phone line.
When you like Ventura TV Appliance on Facebook, it's nice. But when you love the KitchenAid appliances we deliver, it's even better. Our website is cool, and it's a good place to start. But you really should touch the merchandise before you buy. Save big with KitchenAid. Right now, get up to a $1,000 prepaid MasterCard when you purchase select KitchenAid appliances. Get the best selection, price, and service in town without waiting. Come in to Ventura TV Appliance and touch the merchandise today.
When you're looking for Whirlpool innovation and quality, who has the answers, the selection, the price? Ventura TV Appliance. With billions in nationwide appliance buying power, more than Home Depot and Best Buy combined, we'll help you save. Our low prices on Energy Star qualified Whirlpool appliances save you energy and money, and pay no interest on select models when paid in full within 12 months. Ventura TV Appliance, serving you since 1951.
It was our first family selection process, so we were learning as we went. The first family was Kim Chia and Sofan. They had 5 children, and they were just so engaged. They really cared about each other. Finishing the first house seemed a pretty major milestone. The first day the inspector came out there, he looked at me and he said, "Lady, I don't have time to teach you how to build a house." And he left. He did come back and he did help us learn how to build that house. That was a big accomplishment, to finish that house.
All right, that first house completed, Matthew, back in 1986. That's a long time ago. And since then, You have built, or not you personally, but Habitat has helped people build 153 more homes since then. And so only one foreclosure.
Yeah.
That's an amazing track record.
Sure.
And I don't know how that's possible.
Yep.
Especially during the up and down times.
Absolutely.
You know, we went through that financial dip. I believe it was 89, was it not? Okay, and then obviously most recently 2007, which was even bigger.
Sure.
So, I mean, how does that happen?
Yeah, it happens when goodwill and people come together and are committed. You know, folks have a different pride of ownership when they built their own wall, you know, and you'll take care of things a little bit more, and you'll be a little bit more invested, have a little more vested interest in the home, so.
Yeah, and you have to, I mean, it teaches people how to manage their money, too. When you have responsibility of a house payment, you've got other bills coming in, so it's kind of a wake-up call for a lot of people. I do want to roll a piece of videotape called Projects at a Glance, Habitat. No sound, we'll talk over it. These are projects I guess you guys are working on now. So far this year, you've helped build 14 homes here in Fresno County.
That's right.
Go ahead and take a look at this piece of video. You can kind of tell us what we're looking at once we get to the actual building part. But,
sure.
You know, here's what you guys have accomplished so far. And as a group, you have how many people, how many volunteers right now?
Yeah, so annually we'll have about 2,000 volunteers.
2,000 annually. What area of town is this in?
Oh, so this is down in Southwest Fresno. We spend a lot of time in Southwest, Southeast Fresno just because it's one of the most under-resourced areas in our community. You're looking at Crossroads Subdivision on Fruit and Jensen.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, volunteers helped come and build that community. 80 homes we built there, 80 homes.
Wow.
In partnership, Habitat built about 50, self-help, and at the time what was called Cure built the balance, and those families are now all alive and well in that community.
A different area now that we're looking at here.
Yeah, this is one of our, what we call one of our target neighborhoods, Claren North subdivision, and right kind of near the Cargill plant, if you're familiar with that area.
Yeah.
We also built a playground there in that area a couple years back that we just dedicated to the city because the city lacked green space and the children didn't have any place to play. So
Nice
Habitat
drone
does
shot.
more than just building new homes, but we're building communities.
Yeah, and then another one here. I'm going to put this caller on hold. Hang on, caller. Get to you in a moment. Go ahead. This one's at Jensen and Willow.
Jensen and Willow, yep. Another 11 homes, and yeah, just building. You know, we've come a long way. You saw Jackie Holmes earlier mention that the inspector said, we're not going to help you build a home. We've come a long way. Our building is excellent. In fact, city inspectors come to us and say, we want to bring our entire crew to show them how a house should be built. And Habitat does that well, with volunteers no less.
So here's the thing, as we take a look at this next area here, this is the playground right here, so the volunteers who are actually there building home, they need no experience.
None. Habitat has construction, general contractors on its team.
And so they instruct these people.
Yes.
How and what to do.
Yes. So
it's like on-the-job training.
That's right. So our skilled tradesmen come in during the week. Our volunteers can come out Saturday between 7 and noon. You got to sign up, though. You can't just show up. You can visit our website, and you can select a day from roofing to siding to painting to framing the home. Volunteers can get involved through and through.
So how well built are these homes?
Oh, these
are
homes,
they as well built as any home in Fresno?
Oh, even better. In fact, I'll tell you a quick story. We had an inspector from the city of Fresno come down to one of our homes recently. He looked at our home and he said, hey, stop the presses. We thought, oh my goodness, we're in trouble. He went and got his entire crew, his entire staff from the city of Fresno, and brought them back and showed them this is how a home should be built. Habitat doesn't even use nail guns. We hammer each nail in with our hands. So the craftsmanship and the love that goes into each home is phenomenal. They're not built like this anymore. No nail guns.
No nail guns. Why?
Because we just believe in the love and care that goes into swinging a hammer. So these homes are built well.
Yeah, and so this area here, what are we looking at in the video?
We're looking at the Clovis subdivision. That lot looks a lot different. If you go down off of Shaw, go south on Peach, and then head west on Rialto Street, you'll see that lot that was once empty is now being built. 10 homes in the city of Clovis, right off of Shaw, between Peach and Villa.
Wow, that's amazing. And so, you can guarantee that these homes are built better than most homes in Fresno.
Better than most homes. We have to meet standard. We have to meet code still, and we're building with a lot more tender loving care.
Yeah, who are the general contractors?
So
where do you find them?
So these are guys and gals that are been on our team for some time now. We've hired them.
So
They've
they're on
trained,
your staff.
They're on our staff at Habitat.
Okay, caller, you're on the air with our guest today. Go ahead.
That's a good question. If the children, the older children, or let's say son-in-law and daughters, have good income and everything, but they want to bring their their father to the Habitat home to live with them, are they allowed to bring them along? I don't know if they're allowed to live with them, or what the criteria, or what the rules are as far as bringing other people to live with them, like a father. That's my question to you. If the kids, the older kids that have their jobs, can bring a surviving, father or mother, whatever, to live with them, is there any issues that might follow, like they wouldn't be able to allow to be
I get it.
part of that?
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, caller. Like, for example, let's say I qualify for one of the Habitat homes, and suddenly I get into the home, it's built and everything else. A year later, my cousin from New York wants to move in. No problem?
No problem. They're a homeowner.
Okay.
Just like you and I, if we were to purchase our own home.
They own the home.
They own the home.
Doesn't own. Oh, that's another misconception. Habitat does not own the home.
We do not own the home.
You've heard that before, right?
I've heard it. I've heard it. Now, what Habitat does do is we have a 10-year first right of refusal, which says if you're going to sell your home, Habitat has the ability to buy it back first. To avoid folks that may be interested in getting into an affordable home and flipping it. We're not in that business, and
you're not allowed to do that.
Not allowed to do that.
You can't flip a home.
You can't flip the Habitat home. So we have a resale restriction. But aside from that, as a homeowner, you can bring Uncle Jimmy and Aunt Jane and whomever else you'd like after you qualify for the loan. So I think if you're wondering, going back to our criterion, ability to repay, if you qualify for a Habitat home, I think that's the first step, and just apply and see what happens.
How do you find out if you qualify for a house?
You've got to visit habitatfresno.org, go online, you can click.
Is there an application or
You can
something?
click Get Involved, click Home Ownership, you can put in your information, and one of our staff will get right back to you.
Huh. It's that simple, huh?
It's that simple.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. Okay, so what are some other misconceptions real quick before we go to break?
Yeah, another big misconception, maybe we can pick it up after break, is that we only build new homes. Habitat doesn't believe that safe and decent housing only comes by way of new construction, but also loving existing housing stock. And so Habitat has
Explain what that means. You go into a neighborhood that has an existing home or homes, and they're a little older. You refurbish them?
Yeah, so Habitat has a critical repair program that's aimed at repairing existing housing. Things like, someone may be disabled and needs a access ramp. Yeah, someone may need new siding or fencing because they have access to the street. There's all sorts of reasons. Or you may have a home that's in good condition that needs a complete rehab. We do that work as well. So there's
what
lots
happens
of
if somebody's in a wheelchair and they need their kitchen redone so they can have access to certain things?
Yes, so it's got to be.
You can do that too?
We can do anything that would help with the safety or health issues in a home, or can impact the safety or health of a family in a home. So an access ramp impacts the safety of someone who's disabled, and that's why we can build a ramp.
Okay, does it matter the income of that person?
So it does. A person must qualify financially for that program.
Okay.
And with that, they.
What's the criteria for economic wise?
Yeah, still
income-wise?
80% or below area median income.
That even for the refurbished.
Even for the refurbished.
Okay.
What we do is we help families through a no interest microloan. So families put a small down payment and then they pay back a very reasonable repayment on 18 months at no interest.
So it has to be at least 80%?
80% or below area median income.
It could be below 80%. It could be at 20%.
It could be 20%.
It could be at 30%.
And
well, let me ask you something. Why don't more people take advantage of this?
I think a lot of people don't know about it. There's 33,000 residents in Fresno County, John, that lack affordable housing, our latest details show. And the fact that a lot of people don't know or aren't applying, it said people perish for lack of knowledge. So go ahead and find out about us at Habitat Fresno.
Yeah, but isn't it part of your job, not to put you on the spot, you personally, but isn't it Habitat's job to put the word out?
That's why we're here today.
No, I mean, not just this show. I mean, there are other shows. There's radio, there's TV, there's newspaper, there's social media, we have another call coming in, but that's good. But getting the word out is so important because so many people are not taking advantage of it. It's almost like you're not giving away anything for free, but you're assisting people to help themselves.
That's right. So we do a lot of that. We do a lot of outreach. We have one person on our staff that's dedicated to full-time community outreach.
Wow.
We do a lot of social media.
People are at 20% of the income that you mentioned, medium income. They might be thinking, oh, I don't qualify for that. My income's too low. Right? Isn't that what they're thinking?
That's probably what they're thinking.
They're probably
they should
thinking
still
there's
take a look.
No way.
That's right. There is hope. There is hope. And that's Habitat's mission statement. Put God's love in action by bringing people together to build homes, communities, and hope. So there's hope for you if you're listening.
They can say, oh, look, I'm retired. I'm old. I'm only taking in $12,000 a year. They can't help me. I can't afford what they're talking about. Not true?
Not true. Come find out and see if you can qualify for Habitat.
Caller, you've been patient. Go ahead. You're on the air with our guest today, Matthew Grundy, one of the good guys here in Fresno.
Hi, John. Hi, Matthew. First of all, John, thanks for bringing on Matthew. This is a great... I didn't know a lot about this Habitat for Humanity. I think my wife... through her company, had actually even partaked and helped build or paint or something, work on one of the homes here in the Fresno area. And I think it's a great idea. So it sounds like that through Habitat Humanity, there's special programs for financing that may not be accessible through other traditional lenders. So the question might be is, what if you're a homeowner and let's just say you want to remodel your home or do home improvements on things that really need to be done? Is that something that the average homeowner, maybe somebody that would qualify at a normal bank, but maybe wants to see if they're, could possibly be eligible for better financing, I guess, or on a loan? So that would be my question. Just kind of curious if that's something that you guys extend into in your realm. And I'll take my answer over there. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Great question. First of all, thank your wife as well for coming out and volunteering at Habitat and her company. That's awesome. And there's certainly corporate opportunities for people to come get involved at Habitat. To answer the question, going back to the 3 criteria that Habitat requires to partner with a family, there's always a need component. And so Habitat, the funding that Habitat receives in the form of donations as a community benefit organization, and the funds that we receive both from local municipalities and state and federal government, all those grants and those dollars are aimed at helping those that are in need. So unfortunately, while there are folks who may want to do a traditional remodel and just take their home to the next level, that's not per se the intent of the dollars in which Habitat leverages. It's more so to help those who are in need. So
it's based on the 3 criteria. That you mentioned earlier, and number 1 is need.
And I'll tell you, when you think about things like that, I mean, there was a gentleman, I'll tell you a quick story. There's a gentleman recently, we showed the picture of the Clovis development we're working on right now, and there was a gentleman that we went in to interview because we do live interviews with families to find out their need, and we walked in, he had black mold hanging from his ceiling, and we said, man, how are you breathing with that? Because you could smell it. It instantly made your nose run. And he said, well, I was working my windows so much that the landlord came and because my windows stopped operating, and he permanently shut my windows. He screwed them shut. And we said, man, how are you dealing with that? And he said, come out back. And he took us out back, and he had a bed that he had made, that he jimmy rigged out of 2x4s and chicken wire. And he was sleeping with the goats. And this was his existence. This is how he was living in Clovis. We looked to the side, and he had some pieces of lumber with a lawnmower sitting on top. And we said, "What's that?" And he said, "Oh, that's for me to keep the kids out." And we said, "Keep the kids out of what?" And he said, "Well, my septic is overflowing, and so I scoop my own septic every day and I spread it in the field." That is not a shocker. That's not abnormal. We see it more often than you would think in Fresno County. So that's really where the dollars are intended to go for Habitat homeowners and those who are receiving repairs, is for those who are living in those conditions. And fortunately, that family I just mentioned, they are now homeowners. Just recently had their home dedicated to them a month ago now in the city of Clovis. So,
wow.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Matthew Grundy is here, and you are there, 436-ME-TV, option 11. If you want to call in, Habitat for Humanity. You've heard about it. Now we're talking about it. Back in just a moment.
Not sure what you're watching? Want to see what's coming up next? Or just want to browse what's on without the hassle of flipping channels? Your wish has come true. Now you can view schedules for all the digital TV channels available in the Central Valley. Get local weather updates and forecasts, and listen to nationally syndicated Biz Talk Radio, all on KVHF 4.1. Rescan your TV now, then tune in to digital channel 4.1 to start enjoying the all-new TV guide.
No matter who we are or where we come from, we all deserve to have a decent life. We deserve to feel strength and stability day after day. We deserve to know we have the power to take care of ourselves and build our own futures. At Habitat for Humanity, this is what unites us. Through shelter, we empower. Because you, me, we're all humans. And every single one of us deserves a fair shot. Donate or volunteer today.
All right, so everybody deserves a decent place to live, right? As long as you can afford it and are willing to put the hard blood, sweat, and tears into it. And Matthew Grundy, let me ask you another question here about perhaps this is a misconception. I don't know. Maybe not. Does Habitat do background checks on these potential homeowners?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
They do, and they even check like references at work and all this stuff?
We as a lender, are very much so more rigorous than most banks in terms of qualifying families.
Really?
Yeah.
So if you just came out of prison, you don't qualify?
Well, depend on the offense. So as you consider any traditional bank and how they would lend to their potential borrowers, we do standard checks such as Megan's Law, things like that. We need to know if someone's a sex offender, things like that. But it depends on the offense. Habitat's mission and heart is very restorative by nature. So don't feel that just because you may have made a mistake in life at some point that you can't get a shot with Habitat.
Yeah, and you also check with the employers. You do employer interviews.
Oh well, we do employment verification and things that typical lenders will do.
All right, and you do an audit of finances as well?
Oh, yeah, again, we want to make sure that the family has the ability to repay. So we
just
do
like
everything.
any bank, you're going to audit those finances.
That's right, because Habitat is not just a builder and developer, but we're also oftentimes the lender.
Okay, and so what's the other misconception you were going to talk about?
Another big misconception is Habitat is a nonprofit, but folks don't recognize that Habitat only exists due to the good and kind nature of human beings donating to Habitat. We are a community benefit organization. Years ago, in the state of California particularly, the state did away with all dedicated funding to support affordable home ownership.
Yeah.
And so unfortunately,
Hang on, caller.
All the dollars that were set aside for affordable home ownership have gone away. Last year's budget, there was $648,000 at the state level to support affordable housing all throughout the state. $648,000. It's about one house in Orange County. So recently there's been some wins. Assembly Bill 3 and Assembly Bill 4 just recently passed, but a lot of those dollars miss the Central Valley. And so we are a community benefit organization. We need your donations. Not equal giving, but equal sacrifice.
Is it more difficult to build a home for Habitat in, say, LA, San Francisco, San Diego than it would be in Fresno because of the cost?
Well, I think it's all relative. There's also more dollars that people give in those areas. So it's all relative. The cost of developing a home, certainly in those areas, is more expensive.
I'm talking about the cost for the potential homeowner to get in.
Oh, yeah,
it's
absolutely.
It's going to be more difficult.
Absolutely.
In those three cities I mentioned, because they are the highest in terms of cost of living.
Absolutely. So yeah, if you're listening right now and you're in any one of these areas or people in any, we thrive. The only way we're able to do what we do is because of your donation. So visit habitatfresno.org and click the donate button. $1 or more will help.
What's your operating budget a year?
So our operating budget a year is around $2.5 million for everything.
Right. No federal dollars.
We get very few federal dollars that come our way.
What's the percentage? Say 1%.
It's about I'd say it's probably about more like 15%.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a small portion.
It's a small
Caller,
portion.
you've been patient. Go ahead. You're on the air.
I think Habitat for Humanity is a great organization. I know here in Merced County, the local chapter just opened or is going to be opening what they call a restore on December 1st in Atwater at the old Pasadores Furniture Building. They rented the old space, and what they do is sell stuff that they've accumulated or is donated, because like the gentleman said there in Fresno, they're a 501(c), I believe, a nonprofit, and so you need to generate some money. And the other thing he says is interesting is the government spends so much money through HUD and these type of things, building these low-income places for many, many thousands of dollars per unit, when Habitat for Humanity could probably build 10 times the number of units with the same amount of money. Exactly. And it's just unfortunate that those dollars aren't given to, I don't know if we call it a faith-based organization, but to somebody like this gentleman. So do you have a restore there in Fresno County where you can sell stuff?
Talk about that. Go
ahead.
ahead.
Great question. Thanks so much for your call. I really appreciate your words and question. Whether you're in Merced County or whether you're in Tulare, Kings County or Bakersfield or Kern County, wherever you might be, certainly here in Fresno County, we have restores.
And a restore is, just to reiterate and explain, is?
Restore is a place where we sell new and gently used home goods, construction products, and office supplies. Think of it as a thrift store Lowe's. Okay, and you can find all sorts of things. So we have two here in Fresno County, one on the corner of Shaw and Clovis Avenue in the city of Clovis, right behind the Lowe's. You can find it there. The second we have is on the southwest corner of Shaw and Brawley. That's one that we just opened up here in the city of Fresno. Really? So there are two. You can find great finds, 75 to 90% off retail. If you are, and how we get our materials is we have folks that are DIYers in the community. You may be doing a rehab. You say, hey, what do I do with these cabinets that I'm removing? Or what am I do with this countertop that I'm getting rid of? You can donate it to the restore, and we'll come pick it up. There are also stores who say, you know what, we're going to donate items to the restore. So Lowe's, Home Depot, IKEA,
they'll donate.
They give us stuff, and we resell it at 75 to 90% off. And here's the best thing. Through your purchases or donations, all the proceeds go back to support affordable home ownership. That's that operation's purpose. And so if you're looking for some, we're getting into the holidays, Christmas time. If you're looking for an early Christmas gift, let me tell you, I found an elliptical a couple weeks back, brand new in the box for $300. I looked it up, retail $1,200. So go to the restore today if you're looking for a deal.
Really?
That's right.
Really?
My wife's loving me right now for that.
So the two restores here in the city of Fresno, when did those restores start?
Yes. So,
and who came up with this idea of the restore? Because it's almost like, what, the Salvation Army to a certain extent?
To a certain extent. Just more home goods and construction products. So the restore has been a part of Habitat now for many years internationally.
Okay, but not here in Fresno.
But here in Fresno, it started about 7 years ago.
Yeah.
And we've operated mainly a Clovis location. The one that's behind the Lowe's on Clovis and Shaw is a great one to visit. We just opened the second one here in Fresno
Brawley.
this past year on Shaw and Brawley. So go visit it. It's a great find.
Yeah. All right. Let me ask you about some of the volunteers. The volunteer, like I want to volunteer. Do you do background checks on them?
Yes, we do also do background checks on our volunteers.
Because you want the best of the best. You don't want people coming in that are, that have issues or problems, right?
That's right. Well, I'll put it like this. It depends on the offense. We always do Megan's Law because we want to make sure of sex offenders. But if you're someone who has a past, again, and you're trying to give back and sow into neighborhoods maybe that you once hurt, we'd love to have you. So we certainly have ex-offenders that will come out and say, hey, I've turned a leaf in my life and I want to do something that contributes to the community.
Have you had these volunteers with a background?
Oh,
that
yeah,
have come
absolutely.
In to volunteer?
In fact, one of our greatest partners right now is with the Fresno Rescue Mission. These are folks that
trying to get their lives
that are
back
getting their
into
lives
shape.
back in shape, and they come out and volunteer regularly. There's one of the greatest partners we have in the community. They volunteer 2 days a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, out doing what we call acts of kindness, and we'll probably talk about that soon.
Well, we got about 3 minutes left, but who else do you partner with?
Oh, we partner with folks all throughout the community. We have banking partners, we have community groups, we have church and faith-based partners. We have all sorts of folks all throughout the community. I'll hit on this before we go. There are so many ways to partner with Habitat: through new home construction, through critical repair, through landscaping if you need landscaping, through acts of kindness where we just knock doors and say, can we mow your lawn, wipe your windows, pick your weeds? We just love you, free of charge. There's so many ways that we're loving the community. So please visit our website and get
Let me
involved.
ask you something. Could Habitat teach something to some of the home builders here in Fresno County? I'm talking about Leo Wilson, McCaffrey, Assemi. These are all the big-time, big-name home builders that you hear about here in Fresno County. Could they learn something from you guys?
I think we can all learn something from each other, to be modest about it. We have a lot to learn from them. But what I can say is
do you partner with any of them?
We do, and we do, and in fact, we are actually training up the next level of builders in this community. We recently had a partnership with Fresno City College, where their construction department is using one of our lots as their classroom. They're building a home right now in the city of Clovis, and that partnership, we just had a press release last week. Fresno City College, we're training the next level of builders.
Have any of the builders here in Fresno, have they come to Habitat looking to find people that that want to work construction?
Well, we've certainly had various levels of partnerships with home builders here in this area. And in fact, one of our biggest partners is the Century Builders Group. And Leonel Alvarado and his team. They're awesome, and we partner on multiple levels. In fact, he just recently helped a Habitat Fresno resident rebuild their entire roof at his expense.
That's amazing.
And so there's some great partners here in this
about
community.
$30,000 right there.
That's right.
That's amazing. All right, we got about, minute and a half left. Give us one other misconception before we go here, because we could talk all day about Habitat. There's no shortage of topics, but go ahead. One other misconception before you go. Something that you can leave people to think about. What's the one thought you can leave people thinking for the rest of the day?
Well, I think one thing I can leave you thinking, if you're listening or watching, tuning in, is that we live in America. And oftentimes we think in America, this is the land of promise and dreams, and folks need the American dream. Unfortunately, there are a lot of folks out there that don't have that dream. And right here in Fresno County, 1/3 of the population is under the poverty line. 33,000 lack safe, decent housing. And so you don't have to go far. You don't have to go to a third world country. You can sow right here in this community. You can give your time, your talent, your resources right here. And there are many people who can be the benefit of your gift. So I want to thank you so much, and thank this show, and thank you, John, for having us.
Thank you for coming on.
Awesome.
I appreciate it very much. And you're welcome back here anytime, Matthew.
Thank you.
Anytime. You did such a wonderful job, and I appreciate it very much. Continued success over there. And keep rolling that money in. You guys going to need it.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks. Keep doing what you're doing. You guys are great.
All right. Matthew Grundy, the CEO, the Executive Director of Habitat for Humanity, my friends. Hey, quick phone number before we go, if they want to call.
Quick phone number, 559-237-4102. That's 559-237-4102. That's our office line. Or habitatfresno.org has all the information I mentioned.
You got it. Thanks again for your time.
Thanks so much.
All right. See you tomorrow with Tommy Tran, ABC Channel 30. Have a good day.